dentro de las trincheras.
Inside the trenches.
Inside the trenches.
Hello, somebody. Yeah, it's time to move your body. Welcome back, y'all. It's Inside the Trenches. It's your host, Marlon, Big Faith Favorite. And we are back, baby. It's Monday, fun day, how we do it all the time, right here on Inside the Trenches. We want to take this time right now, first and foremost, to thank all of you beautiful people for tuning in. We really appreciate y'all coming in. Y'all showed up and showed out last week. Appreciate y'all's attendance. And we ask y'all to continue to like and subscribe right here on the ESPN Baton Rouge's YouTube channel. And also like and subscribe on the Inside the Trenches with Marlon Favorite page on YouTube as well. I want to take this time right now also to thank our sponsors. Get Gordon and get it done. Big ups to the Gordon McKernan injury attorneys. Hey, look, if you have been in a car injury, have a car injury or been in a car accident, definitely hit up the Gordon McKernan injury attorneys. Get Gordon. He's going to get it done. Locally here in New Orleans, you can dial 504-800-8888. Big ups to that crew over there, the G team. Another big shout out to Dr. Kendra. That's right, Health Nut Systems. Big ups to Dr. Kendra for all that she does for the show as well. Listen, y'all, it's here. It's November, baby. I see little Chris got on his Sino band jacket. CL got his jacket on. I'm rocking a long sleeve. It's here, y'all. It's winter time, and we got to take care of our bodies. Dr. Kendra, hit her up at stillbody.org. Tons of vitamins, supplements, natural shakes, fruits. I know she has the sea moss, the new Georgia peach sea moss, which sometime this month they're gonna come on the show and give us a treat of the sea moss. That they you heard CL. Yeah, so big ups to Health Nut System and Conquer Sports Pros. That's right, csportspros.com. Visit that site right now. All of our juniors, seniors. Even if you're a sophomore and you want to kind of get involved with the recruiting process right now, definitely hit them up. Again, Conquer Sports Pros offer a very exclusive recruiting, basically evaluation pack, and we help y'all's families navigate the recruiting process. Visit csportspros.com. Fellas, it was a rough week here, or weekend, should I say, here in Louisiana. So much that we got to get into about these matchups. Starting Thursday, October 30th, it got spooky before Halloween even hit.
Oh, yeah.
Very surprisingly, Tulane lost to University of Texas San Antonio 48-26. The score of the game, like I figure if Tulane would have lost the game, we were probably looking at a situation where, they would lose by 3 points or just a unexpected touchdown. But this is for certainly one of those situations. I really believe that Tulane kind of got a little sleepy at the wheel. You get some wins rolling and you have an opportunity to get into the college playoffs. Like Tulane was, should I say, in that conversation. They went out. They're the team that you have to look at from that conference. And surprisingly, guys, Chris, CL, I'll start with you first. I see you rocking your Tulane. You're a real one. 504 first. Tulane, I got my jersey kind of got a little, I had a button up. Right. But your thoughts, your thoughts on that matchup.
Actually, Tulane played a pretty good game. The three turnovers from the quarterback position, obviously not all the same guy, was effective. You're not really supposed to win when you turn the ball over 3 times. The score wasn't the true indication of the football game. Still, Ratcliffe ends up leading the team with passing as well as running, which once again shows that this young man is truly a dual threat moving forward. It's unfortunate that the Green Wave go down, but I think this is what needs to happen for them to get refocused on the true mission at hand.
Chris, your thoughts?
And honestly, I feel like they needed a wake-up call because, like you just said, they've been waltzing around. Like even the Army game, like they was kind of in the ropes in that one before that miracle touchdown they scored at the end.
Right.
So, I mean, and UTSA, they are a very good home team this year. So, I mean, I would have thought Tulane would have played up to par, play a little bit better. And when you play sloppy football, turning the ball over 4 times in total, 3 from the quarterback, like CL just said, it's hard to win football games. It's also hard to win football games when you're allowing 523 yards and 48 points on the road. So, I mean, maybe they just need a wake-up call. Hopefully, they can play better as the season goes on.
Yeah, this is true. If you guys want to chime in on the Tulane game, feel free to hit us up right here on the ESPN YouTube, Baton Rouge YouTube Live. We'd like to get y'all thoughts. Feel free to chime in, and feel free also to comment at BigFave504, CL_NOLA, and _4K. I had it.
Lil Chris 3K _.
3K. I know it was one of the 3K, 4K, OG5.
As long as it ain't pre-K.
Right. Yeah. I don't know how vested I want to get into it. I mean, because this was a University of Texas San Antonio team who was under 500 going into this game and just so happened to catch Tulane sleeping.
Yeah, and that's what I think it is. I think that Tulane kind of thought they could just walk into San Antonio and put whatever effort they're going to put out there and win, considering what happened in the Army game and the last second win that they pull off. Sometimes it's beneficial for a football team. Sometimes it's detrimental to a football team to have a win and not give your all. So now we have the example of getting a loss and not being able to give your all. So I think they've had a chance to see what's the better fit, and obviously winning would be it.
And when you think about the opportunities that Tulane have here, you still play a ranked Memphis team. Memphis is 22 in the country. And, of course, you still have to play Template, Charlotte, FAU. So the rest of their schedule, with the exception of Memphis, is pretty good. You just kind of pay attention to where the chips fall. And Tulane, when you look at just the last 10 years here with Tulane, between Coach Frisk and between Coach Summerall, you're looking at a team who not only has improved in recruiting, improved their stadium, improved the environment, the culture. I mean, I still think Tulane probably in the top 10 of the uniforms in college football right now.
Especially with the new uniforms.
I'm talking about the Uptown.
It's over.
I'm not talking about the old ones. The old ones, they was just, they was nice.
The old ones was straight.
They were straight, but they wasn't top 10.
But not old. The most recent ones where they had the two-tone, those were straight.
No, those were cool, but what I'm saying is the Uptown ones that they recently did.
Ones
like
that.
So
no,
just talking about
that.
like team bringing back that swagger.
Yeah.
I think John Summerall even made that situation even better. Just being able to, not only, how could I say this, not only keep good players coming into Tulane, doing well in the transfer portal, but just being able to keep on winning. So, I mean, they do play Memphis next week, and like I said, the rest of their schedule
it's a task
falls to suit.
And maybe that was their issue. They were looking at Memphis.
They was overlooking.
They were overlooking San Antonio by looking at Memphis. Yep. Well, now they have to look Memphis dead in the face because here they go.
Yeah, no doubt. Now, we got to stick in the state. I said it was pretty bad for all of us, right? Not only Tulane, but it was also pretty tough for the New Orleans Saints as well. We're not going to tally around, and we're going to jump right into it. Uh,
34-10.
Listen, bro.
Ooh.
The Rams is probably one of the best teams in the NFL right now.
For sure.
I mean, they're in the top, we could say top 3, even if you're looking at it from a power ranking standpoint. You look across the NFC, you mentioned the Rams. You talk about, I know Detroit just lost, but they're still a contending team. You probably look at the Philadelphia Eagles as well. So it's not necessarily about judging the Saints in that regard. But if you just look at the production of your key players, right? We're going to definitely have a roundtable discussion about this right now because it's not so much that we could actually blame on Coach Sean Payton. On Coach Kellen Moore.
Damn sure can't blame Coach Payton.
He's
Yeah. Here.
Well, you can still kind of look at him like, man, I wish we would have took advantage of, the first round picks he gave us. And, even he was supposed to be the gift that keeps giving. But
to himself.
But when you look at just the key players on this team, right? Carl Granderson had a great year last year. Cam has been great for this organization for years. But we're not getting the pass rush that we need week in and week out.
Oh.
We're getting pushed up the middle, but, with proper film study, you can say, oh, man, all we got to do is kind of bump and roll out. We'll be all right. We cool with that. But to me, and I really want to get y'all guys' opinion on this, and most important, our people viewing, it's like the further away we get away from the end of the Sean Payton era, the worse the team gets.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And we can look at the coaches. We can look at, as much as we can look at the inner works of the talent on the team. But we also got to point the finger at the responsibility. And it's just the inconsistency of that front office. The hit and miss of the first round draft picks. The hit and miss of not being able to bring in the right key pieces. Kellen was inherited this, so it's kind of tough. This man just got his ring, probably not even out the box twice. He just got his Super Bowl ring. Youngest coach, we could point at a couple of things, but CL, when you kind of look at just this team now, just moving away from, it's like each year it gets worse the further away we move from the Sean Payton era.
Imagine I've had this conversation already. Probably 30 times. Imagine the phone calls that I get, and the number one question is what's up with the New Orleans Saints? And so that forces me to be in a position where I have to literally sit back and I have to really literally think about it from a GM's perspective, from a player's perspective, from an organizational perspective. And when I come to the conclusion of it, the reality is the problem with the New Orleans Saints is we tried to we took 3 years to try to recreate the crumbs that Coach Payton left here, minus Drew Brees. We literally expected to have the same record or same type team with less talent. And then for that following 3 years, we tried to plug and play free agents and draft picks to fill voids of not only Super Bowl champion players, but Pro Bowl players. And that's the problem now. Now that we realize that didn't work, we could never recreate what we had. Now we're literally starting off from scratch. We have older players that we refuse to let go for sympathy reasons or whatever reasons you want to call it. We're loyal to a fault in New Orleans. Upper management is stuck in the position that he's in because he's inside of a will and there's no sense for him to go away. Why would you fire yourself? Is usually the question that he gets. And the answer is he won't and he will not. So until we have a change at the top, I don't see anything looking positive towards the New Orleans Saints. We might win a game just because maybe we do what Tulane did, and maybe somebody overlook another team, and we kind of
team they overlook.
Yeah, we kind of get one for the Gipper, but this is the reality of a rebuild. This is the reality of taking 3 years trying to replace what Sean Payton and Drew Brees left. And this is the reality of it right here, 1-8.
You mentioned it, Chris. 34-10. That screams no offensive production. That screams defense trying to hold on for dear life. When you look back at this LA game, and just I guess not just the LA game, just the season as a whole, offensively, what could the Saints do differently based off of what they have?
I feel like they should, I don't know, use their star players more. I mean, I don't know, use Alvin Kamara more. I mean, he should get more than 7 touches and 6 carries.
He can't do it no more, man.
I mean, or maybe use the younger running backs like a Devin Neal. Maybe use him more. Maybe use Taysom Hill more. Maybe use Juwan Johnson more. I don't know. Just find a way to, I don't know. Use what you got. Like, get the most out of your players. That's all I'm asking for. Just try your best to get the most out of Alvin Kamara, Devin Neal, Juwan Johnson, Taysom Hill. I don't
think you could get any more juice out of that Turner. For the past 3 years, Alvin Kamara has not given you a rush or a reception for over 20 yards in the past 3 years. Lately, he's been averaging 37 yards a game rushing. Lately, he's been averaging 2.5 yards, 2.3 yards a carry. Last game, the rookie at least averaged 3.7 yards a carry. So that's almost 4 yards a carry. But we still ended up giving it to Alvin more.
Yeah, so eventually, like, if you look at the Saints from a whole offensively, it's not so much you can do. I mean, their best option, I mean, I know we're up against the trade deadline right now. So this week is going to be important for them. I don't know if you try to get some future assets and just kind of, I don't really like to throw the word tanking around, but it's just
self-tank.
It's just kind of one of those situations where you got the Panthers coming up. Surprisingly, the Panthers are paying good right now. They're 5-4, so you're looking at a team that's over 500. You got the Falcons. Even though they're not good, they're going to play you to their best ability. So if you're not where you're at, and then the Dolphins, they trash too. So it's like CL said, you got to try to squeeze some lemons out, some wins out these lemons that's coming, that you have.
Oh, you don't.
Or you don't. Yeah. So all right, guys, before we jump to the Pels, the trade deadline, I did bring that up. CL, I'll come to you first. The trade deadline is upon us. In y'all opinion, what's the best moves to make? I've danced around with the Taysom Hill option. I've danced around with the Elvin, option. CL, when you look at this Saints team, you say, yeah, we got to make these changes and we got to make them now.
Well, I mean, the problem is everybody in the NFL has TV and DVR and can watch the tape.
Social media everywhere.
Yeah, they're not just watching inside the trenches and realizing that we're not putting the output out offensively. I don't see any type of material that you can convince another GM to trade for out of New Orleans. We're in the bottom third in yak per catch. We don't have wide receivers that get down the field and get yards after the catch. So they don't want that. My running back is 3 years too old. They don't want that. Our best middle linebacker is probably 2 years too old. They don't want that. Do you see the Philadelphia Eagles? He just traded for Phillips out of Miami, young DN. You see what I'm saying? They don't trade for old players, and that's our problem.
Now, he made a good point. We don't really have any valuable assets.
Correct.
So, do you see a play on defense that we can do to try to maybe get some offensive assets for defensive players?
Demario Davis, old. Cam Jordan, old. I mean, I don't know. Justin Reed, hit or miss. Kool-Aid McKinstry, definitely not. Carl Granderson, underwhelming. I mean, Brian Brisee, I mean, he's young. got potential, but I don't know. I don't know what Mickey Loomis is going to do from here. I don't know what the Saints organization is going to do from here.
The only thing I could see maybe is Coach Payton calling to see if he could give a late round pick for Taysom. So when he gets into the playoffs, he has somebody else that could run the football in the red zone and score for him and lessen the hits that, Bo Nix will take trying to, run quarterback draws and such.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much really it.
Yeah,
Taysom
for
is
sure.
the only real life play. Maybe Alvin, just because Shona could use him differently or how he used
In
him
space.
in the past.
I still think
So
you
that's
use
kind
Alvin
of
in
part
space.
of the deal, with him having to bring in Alvin Kamara and just to give him that push, because here's a team that, in my opinion, they're all right. Denver's not a bad team. They can really compete in that era. Let's switch gears a little bit, y'all. We don't have that much time here left. The Pels, they're now 0-6. Like I mentioned, y'all, in the beginning, it's just been a very bad week for Louisiana. 137 to 106. They lose to Oklahoma. Oklahoma is 7-0. Herb, he had 12 points. Zion had 20 points. Trey Murphy, he had 19 points. You look at the guys coming off the bench. Most successful guy off the bench is Jordan Poole in this instant. The Pelicans, CL, you go to a lot of the games. You a fan of the GM. You a fan of, for the most part, the roster. What's the deal with the Pels, man? Do you see them rattling off a boatload of wins here in the next couple of games? Or
No.
No. Talk to me.
No. It's almost like the same situation with the New Orleans Saints. You have to look at it from an observatory position. You have to look at it from the top. Joe is just getting in and inheriting this mess that we have. So he's trying to do his best. I personally think the problem with the New Orleans Pelicans is Willie.
Ding, ding, ding.
Is Willie all the way. And the problem with Willie is, I think, unfortunately, teams pick up the personality of their coaches.
Yeah.
And we're just not a defensive team.
Oh, no,
we're not a tough team. We're not a mean team. We're the
soft.
nicest team. I hate to say it. I won't even say it. But we're just not a physical team. We could bring in DeAndre Jordan. We could bring in Michael Jordan. Until we decide to be a tougher team and a meaner team and stop being the doormat of the NBA, then that'll change. But honestly, Willie Green is the first domino that needs to fall to get him out the way. It's still a young season.
Yeah.
We can still savage the season. We have the talent. It's kind of like the LSU situation. They have the talent. It's just that the coach in position can't get the talent out. I think the locker room, he's already lost the locker room.
Most definitely.
And I said last year he would be on the hot seat for this year. I wanted to give him 25 games. We could pull a cord now.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But to save the season. You want to think about it, Miss Benson. This is another season that's already over already. This early. Yeah. Who's going to go to these games? Baby, the game's on Monday, Wednesday, Thursday nights. Who's going to go to these games knowing that we give up 67% at the rim? We give up 67% at the rim. That beats no one. We haven't gotten even close. We lost to the Clippers by 2 points in LA.
That one was close.
I'm sorry I even looked at that game. But it's literally a blueprint of the Pelicans. No matter what, no matter how high they get up, you can come back and beat them. Why? Because we don't protect the rim.
No.
Why? Because we don't play transition defense.
No.
Why? Because we don't stop the ball. Why? Because we have undirective scorers on offense.
So, anything positive to say about this team? I mean, at 0-6 is tough. When you look at this Pelicans team, it's like, all right, if we do this, we'll be all right.
I would say if we can fire Willie Green, I think we'll be all right. Because, like CL said, we have the talent. The the front office is not bad with Joe Dumars. I mean, I think he's doing a decent job so far with the short time that he's been here. I think it's really green. I think if we get rid of him, and not only that the players are frustrated with him, they're frustrated with how he manages the game and how the player rotations. The rotations is not good. And so that's another thing. Every single game this year, we allowed 120 points or more. I just think, just like how Brian Kelly needed to go for LSU, I think Willie Green just needs to go from the Pelicans, and then maybe we can see some upside from here.
All right. Hypothetically speaking, if the Pels decide we're going to part ways with Coach Willie Green, who would be some top candidates? You thinking a Sam Cassell, maybe a Mike Malone?
That's what I was thinking about.
The former Denver coach,
Yes,
right.
the
for
former
sure.
Memphis coach, the former Milwaukee Bucks coach.
I mean, basically, what you saying, the list could go on, or some better candidates.
What has Willie done
Nothing.
to even? And I understand, to a man, Joe looked him and told him, "Hey, I'm going to give you this shot." Obviously, that was the one thing we all were surprised that didn't happen in the offseason with the Pelicans.
Yeah.
They're moving on from Willie, but it's starting off so horrifically already. Should be a kind of sounding bell to just move on now, because it's just unreal this early.
Now, right now, they have their assistant coach that coached with the Charlotte Hornets.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you do make a decision like fire him in the next couple of games, you still have, James Barango?
Yeah, it's Barango.
Barango. He's somebody that has head coaching experience when he was in Charlotte from 2018 to 2022. Do y'all feel more comfortable with a move like that, or,
I mean, I would be fine if it came from within, but at the same time, because think about it, if you're firing a coach less than 25 games in, you can't just gut the
Exactly.
whole
That's what I'm
coaching
saying,
staff. So it makes sense to hire within. But I'll tell you this as well. I think we also are kind of shot in the foot as well, because the only way I see us being better is with Zion actually not being on the team. I think that ship has sailed.
I agree.
I think right now we could actually get rid of him and get some key access to start over. Because think about it.
While we can.
Think about it. We don't have a first-round pick next year, guy.
Nope.
We gave that up for Queen. The Hawks got it. We already looking like we in the lottery already. We can trade Zion and get some pieces, and some guys that want to move forward. It's just I just think that ship has sailed.
So, Chris, you agree with that move, like making a executive? I mean, you got a Zion Williamson that came in decent shape. This is the best he's looked really since a player, even his collegiate years. We do see some production here. Is that a move you make? Totally different than a situation with the Saints, right? Those players are kind of
we actually
older.
have somebody's right.
So, in your opinion?
I think you do. I mean, while we can right now, I say, why not trade Zion? I mean, he's a great player. I mean, with the state of how this team is and how this organization is, I just don't think he has what it takes to take us to the playoffs or something like that. I just don't. And I just think that, we need to find, maybe trade him for a high draft pick, hopefully.
Well, I think all of these are pretty good ideas. Chris, we got about 30 seconds. So you had wanted to say something?
Just know this, baby. He in the best shape of his life.
Yeah.
He's healthy, and he averages 20 points a game. I think this is the perfect time to trade him. I couldn't think of any better time to trade him to get the most bang for your buck.
Well, that's a big, huge difference. The Pelicans, in terms of assets, are in a better position to make those types of trades. Zion is a former #1 overall pick. When healthy, he can ball out. To Chris's point, he's put himself in a position to be in much better shape. Well, y'all, listen. Like, share, comment. Let us know what y'all
Would you
think
trade
about the
Zion?
show. Would you? That's
Would
a
you
good
trade
question.
Zion?
Would you trade
Zion?
That's the poll question. That's a good one, Chris. Would you trade Zion Williamson? The rate y'all season going, the team's 0-6. Right now, Coach Willie Green isn't doing the best job in the world. Do you make those moves as well? Do you look within in terms of hiring? Well, it's a whole lot. Long seasons. One thing about basketball, we got a long way to go. Yeah, hey, man, there's a couple of things that we can definitely look at. Well, look, we want to take this time once again to thank our injury attorney, Gordon. We want to thank our injury attorney, Gordon McKerney. Gordon McKerney Injury Attorneys. Get Gordon, get it done. Y'all can call him 504-800-8888. Y'all don't go nowhere. When we come back, it is a Louisiana school that we didn't talk about, and that's the LSU Tigers. A lot of change just since we've been on this show last week. I know we definitely spoke about Coach Frank Wilson taking over as interim head coach, but we have a new AD in town, and we're going to talk about some potential hires and some potential opportunities for the Tigers to possibly win this week against Alabama. Don't go nowhere, baby. It's Inside the Trenches right here on ESPN Baton Rouge.
Inside the trenches.
Here is where your story continues. Stretch the limits of your imagination. Create the world as you see it. One letter, one word, one pixel at a time. Move to the rhythm of your own story. Make something more. For him and her and them, for the world. Do what you love. Tell stories like never before in state-of-the-art recording, news, and editing studios. Created just for you. Learn skills that will never expire. Document moments, seconds, frames per second. Turn them into masterpieces. Creativity is more than a lifestyle. Make it a career. Tune into the sounds around you. Those notes, you were always meant to sing them. Creative boundaries, you were always meant to break them. Become the creative professional you are destined to be at the Anchor Institution for the Creative Economy. This is a stage, a world stage. New Orleans, culture rich. Loyola, hands-on access. Make the next move. Perform and work immediately. We do things differently. Use your creativity to impact society. Expand your mind. Be with and for others. Continue your story in the College of Music and Media at Loyola University, New Orleans.
Inside the trenches.
Conquer Sports Professionals.
Hello, somebody. It's Marlon Big Favorite, Super Bowl champion and national champion. Here's the truth. Almost anybody could play college football and get a scholarship or financial aid if they know who's looking for them. Now, you may not be a Division I or Division II football player, but that doesn't mean you can't play college football on the next level. There's hundreds and thousands of schools out there that's looking for football players like you to give you a great education. Right now, the average cost of school is $27,000 a year. That means that's $180,000 just to graduate. Imagine cutting that number down with a football scholarship or financial aid support. At Conquer Sports Pros, we find the right schools that fit you, your talent, your goals, and your future. And they will pay for your education through football. Don't waste time guessing. Let us connect you with coaches and programs that are already searching for players like you. If you're serious about playing football in college to pay for your education, click the link below or visit csportspros.com and schedule a call today. Hello, somebody.
Conquer Sports Professionals.
Dentro de las trincheras.
Inside the Trenches.
Conquer Sports Professionals.
Hello, somebody. It's Marlon Big Favorite, Super Bowl champion and national champion. Here's the truth. Almost anybody could play college football and get a scholarship or financial aid if they know who's looking for them. Now, you may not be a Division I or Division II football player, but that doesn't mean you can't play college football on the next level. There's hundreds and thousands of schools out there that's looking for football players like you to give you a great education. Right now, the average cost of school is $27,000 a year. That means that's $180,000 just to graduate. Imagine cutting that number down with a football scholarship or financial aid support. At Conquer Sports Pros, we find the right schools that fit you, your talent, your goals, and your future. And they will pay for your education through football. Don't waste time guessing. Let us connect you with coaches and programs that are already searching for players like you. If you're serious about playing football in college to pay for your education, click the link below or visit csportspros.com and schedule a call today. Hello, somebody.
Conquer Sports Professionals.
Inside the Trenches.
Dentro de las trincheras.
Inside the trenches.
Inside the Trenches.
Yeah. And just like that, we back. Welcome back, baby. It's Inside the Trenches. I hope y'all enjoying y'all Monday. I'm for certainly am. And want to take this time to just give you a shout out, baby, for supporting the show, tuning in each week. We are super excited about the opportunity of having you guys join us every week, really, from the bottom of our heart. So much. I thank y'all, too, for subscribing to Inside the Trenches with Marlon Favorite on YouTube. Feel free to follow Lil Chris 3K.
Underscore DK.
Underscore 3K, I was close. And definitely follow CL_NOLA on Instagram. This the new GM, the GM in your mind, baby. Straight up. Better believe it. The guy that's going to make the right shots for the city, eh? Also want to take this time right now to thank Health Nut System. That's right, Dr. Kendra. Thank you so much for the products. Thank you so much for the advice. Really, over the last few years, y'all, she's helped me on my wellness journey. And she could do the same thing for you. Visit stillbody.org for all her contact information. Look at her wonderful products. She has the new CMOS line that's out. Perfect right now, especially with the weather starting to become a little frightful down here in the city and across the country. Y'all can order it anywhere in the country, but visit stillbody.org. And big ups once again to Health Nut System. Fellas, LSU has now moved to a new era. Right now, we are in the Frank Wilson era, right? I don't know if Frank's going to be here for another few years or another few weeks, but he does have himself a big-time matchup coming up this weekend against Alabama. Guys, I want to start there, and then we'll get into some LSU business. So much to touch base on in regards to the Tigers in terms of speaking points. When you look at, I'll come to you first. When you take a look at this LSU's season as a whole, right? We've lost to Texas A&M, we've lost to Vanderbilt, and we've also lost to Ole Miss. All three of those teams, when we played them, were either in the top 10. I want to say, all three of them were in the top 10.
Or top 15.
Top 10 teams. But that speaks to the expectations of the LSU Tigers. I mean, you look at, we went over the last few coaches since 2000, starting with Nick Saban all the way to recently with Coach Brian Kelly, and the expectations are high. Now, CL, when you look at this Alabama game, right, you got a Ty Simpson who has now led LSU have now led Alabama to a 7-1 season. They're only losing to, they lost early in the season to Florida State. After that, it's been lights out for them. What do you think, man? I know you're a huge fan of this opportunity that Frank have. Can he go out there and upset Alabama?
I think it's the only way. I think it's the only way to prove all the doubters and all the naysayers wrong, and prove me right that LSU has the talent to be a top 12 team in the nation, regardless if Brian Kelly was the head coach or not.
Mm-hmm.
And I stand on that. I believe if there's anyone that can galvanize this team of young Louisianians and young men that decided to come play for the state of Louisiana, it would be Frank Wilson on the biggest stage of college football, because we all know when it gets a little cold and LSU has a bye, the next game is Alabama, and it's must-see TV. And I think it's prime time for Mr. Wilson to show off his talents and almost his Jedi mind trick, because I believe he has the Tigers believing they can do it.
Chris, I mean, CL made a good point. With Coach Frank Wilson, automatically now the players have bought into his idea. You look at how he talked to his group before the game. When you watch him with the running backs, they go to the shower, they pray, they talk about the goals for the game. And now this past week, as most of y'all heard, he invited all the former players to come back to practice. You saw how packed it looked out there, though? It was like it had to have been at least 300-400 guys in there. But it just kind of talks about the unity. I want to get back to this Alabama game, and then we'll kind of get in depth with LSU and just the different. We'll speak candidly about the candidates we've been hearing about, and I also want to talk about a little bit of what Verge spoke about in his open press conference as the interim AD. But this Alabama team, according to ESPN's predictor, has a 80.9% chance of winning. They're giving us 19.1. Wow. When you look at
it first.
Yeah, I think it is a first. Chris thinks it can happen. I think it can happen. But when you look at the surface of this team, I'm gonna kind of come to you like I came to you about the Saints. What has to happen? What do we need to see? More of a running game? Do we need to see a dual look at quarterback? What's your thoughts on LSU and basically a pre-key to victory?
I feel like the pre-key of victory, it's not even like necessarily what they do on the field. I feel like it's pride. I feel like it's rally behind, Frank Wilson. And, this is a rivalry game. And I feel like that should be motivation. So that should be your motivation to beat the best. At Alabama, that's that premier program. If you don't have no motivation for nothing else, have some motivation to beat your rival and potentially, not have them be a top 5 team like what Michigan did at Ohio State last year. So basically have that zombie mentality of rallying behind, a new head coach, an interim head coach, and, fight hard in a rivalry game. That's the pride and motivation. That's what I got.
Now, CL, I like what he's saying in terms of like pride and motivation. You're going on the road against all odds. Nobody in the nation is going to pick you to win this game.
Right.
All of those bells and whistles. When you start looking at keys to victory for this Alabama game and like what has to happen, is it more effort on defense? Do you looking for guys like Harold Perkins to do a little more of this game, really eliminate them from scoring?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely all hands on deck. I know Corey Raymond will have the DBs ready to deal with Ryan Williams,
Bernard,
who's definitely coming to show up on Saturday night. I literally believe that LSU, because at the end of the day, we haven't heard anybody trying to transfer.
Yeah.
We haven't heard any rumblings because it's not just been 1 week, it's been 2 weeks. We've had 2 weeks, and we haven't heard anything of any kind of rumbling, any kind of jumping the ship. So I believe all these gentlemen believe in the Frank Wilson movement forward. They just got to go out and show it on Saturday. And if I could steal that keys to the game, the keys to the game is to run at Alabama with multiple players. Mr. Johnson, Mr. Berry, Mr. Durham, and Mr. Woods.
Yeah, I do think, y'all, and those are some good points, CL. I do think that offensively we've been overthinking this thing. No matter how we try to cut the cake, it's been overthinking. Those guys run 4.3s and 4.4s. You have 4 of them.
Right.
Take the 4 guys. 2 of them, have them sprint fast as they can up the field. 2 of them, have them do as quick across routes as you can. Somebody's going to be open. Right. And I do believe that when you look at production-wise, what Alabama has done versus what LSU have done, Ty Simpson is much more careful with the football than Gary Nussmeier.
Absolutely.
Right.
Period. This kid has thrown 1 interception the whole year. That's almost Heisman-type performance. And if this team continues to stay undefeated the way they are, excuse me, and keep the run in balance and pass as balanced as possible, I think they do position themselves. Bernard, their top receiver, has six touchdowns on the year. Nick Anderson had 7 last year. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I think Barian Brown had like 6 last year. So we have guys that could be productive. Right now, our guy with the most touchdowns on this team is
Mr. Green.
Mr. Trey Green.
Trey Green. He has the most touchdowns. So I don't know, man. I just feel like LSU has a good chance at this game because now that the leadership has shifted a bit, a different play call in Coach Atkins. He was the tight end coach, Alex Atkins. He's taken over as now a play caller. I think Frank believes in him. That screams
Right.
that.
They've been working together for years.
They've been working together for quite some time now, so that that all works out.
So if one day this ever happened, you gonna call a play.
On the cool, and because it didn't take long.
Yeah, and that's what you want. You want a gentleman like a Frank Wilson to have a plan in place just in case. See how I did that?
Just in case.
So he has a plan. I think they always knew what they were gonna do, minus Coach Kelly, because usually at LSU, coaches don't get fired; they fire themselves.
Yeah, this is true indeed. To a certain extent, I kind of think Coach Ed Orgeron got fired. I mean, we could pay attention to his behaviors at the time, but man, Coach, I feel like he got fired 2 years too early. I felt like
Off the field matters.
Yeah, it does.
When you're head of an institution of that magnitude, brother, you better believe everybody's watching.
Right. I kind of want to look at some overall things right now just so we can have perspective. I'm going to go over a couple stats for both teams and just we'll kind of formulate the keys to victory, right? All right. So LSU right now, they're 95th in the FBS in overall offense. Mm-hmm. Passing 50, rushing 124, scoring 84. Defensively, we've also taken a drop. Where we were in the top 10 In terms of rush defense, we 51. We 35th overall in the FBS. We're 31 in passing, and we're 22 in scoring. So that isn't horrible to 22. Now Alabama, on the other hand, I thought I had their stuff up. All right, here we go. So Alabama right now, it's not all that sweet. Now passing, they're 15. Rushing, they're 144, 114. Yeah, because rushing, like your boy got like 300-something yards. They're not really, they're being balanced. Yeah,
they're very balanced, and they're helping out their defense.
You feel?
This is not the days of Nick Saban, Alabama, where you have 5 stars all over the field.
Right, and in that scoring right now, they're 30. To your point, so CL, I come to you first. When you look at LSU, if we looking at it statistically, it means defense. Like, damn, my defense going to have to go out there and really man up. But do you see the offense now under the tutelage of Atkins and Frank seeing a bit of a spark? Different. I mean, this is bad, but at the same time.
Yeah, because I believe Frank and Atkins walks to the team and shows them a clear-cut plan on how to attack the Alabama defense. When we were watching previous LSU games, to a man, we didn't understand the combination routes. We didn't understand the attacking of this. They're not attacking necessarily a safety, and they're not attacking necessarily a side of the field. We just didn't understand. The routes weren't really complementing each other. It wasn't nothing backside. So it was a lot of things that didn't make sense. So when it started all crumbling down, you realize, hey, the players didn't believe in the actual direction that the offense was going. To a man, I'm sure they believe in Frank Wilson in the direction he's going.
Yeah, true that. We was saying who that, but that was the last segment. All right, so
Who that?
Caden Durham.
All
right now, he's obviously dealt with some bumps and bruises at this part of the season. I mean, that's what it was. Southeastern game. He sat out one of these games recently, right? But he does, lead that group with 2 touchdowns, rushing touchdowns. Just go to tell you, yeah, LSU have. I'm used to seeing at least close to 8, 9 rushing touchdowns.
We missed Kevin Faux.
Yeah, I mean, even recent, man. At this point, I miss Nick Brissett, Darrell Williams. I take any of them 1,000-yard rushes. Well, Leonard, that's the gift right there.
Joseph Adai.
It was. This is 378 yards. That was 3-4 guys, but you still had a lead rusher.
Even Darius Geis.
Is this the game? Him and Leonard was. I mean, they was going back to back with it. When you look at this rushing attack for LSU, because to me, I think that's going to have to be the prime attack. That's going to be the rushing attack's going to open up the deep routes. We get them to say, okay, LSU ain't BSing, man. This offensive line really worked their tail off. Do you see Harlem Berry being that premier back in this game the way we need to see him? Because we got away from that at the Texas A&M game. We was running in the first quarter with him.
3-point game.
I think as long as we could keep the game close, I think we should stick with the run game, because the run game was working, like you said, against Texas A&M, but then they started to crawl away and run away. We couldn't stick with it. I feel like as long as we could keep the game close with Alabama, I think we should stick with the run game. Keep the defense resting down the sidelines and, have some more time for the offense to stay on the field. Hopefully, get some 5-yard carries, 6-yard carries, 7-yard carries. We'll see.
This is going to be a huge game for LSU's cornerbacks. When I mean, right now, Delane is up for the Thorpe Award. Best defensive back in college football. That's clearly because they're not trying his side. But P.J. Woodland and young DJ Pickett is going to have the best games of their lives. Remember, this is a team that excels in pass, talking about Alabama. So I look at those two guys having to have a big game. Boy, this is the game to get Whit Weeks back.
Yes, it is.
His presence has definitely been missing on this defense. I think Harold Perkins plays out of pocket when he's not there. I think that the team is really missing their leader when he's not on the field. It kind of takes a little bit of the life. Now, CL, AJ Halsey, bro, and Cooley back there, them dudes been balling. I know they're going to have a good game. So I feel like you feel like the perimeter is going to be attacked more than in between the hashes for LSU?
Well, yeah, I mentioned Corey Raymond understanding the scope of this game and understanding that it will come down to his DBs against Alabama wide receivers, especially Ryan Williams. And I keep bringing up Ryan Williams because he's one of the two gentlemen that I believe the New Orleans Saints to draft in the first round of this year's draft in the 26-27.
Who?
Yeah, Ryan Williams, the wide receiver.
Oh, from Alabama.
Yeah.
True number one.
That's why I say it's gonna be some work.
Yeah. So you'll see a true number one in college football on Saturday. You know, NFL true number one in college football on Saturday. But needless to say, this it will draw down to how they can cover and tackling. Tackling will be at a premium on Saturday because Bryant-Denny Stadium is not a soft place to play.
If y'all are just tuning in, baby, we're sitting here talking about LSU and their matchup against Alabama. Basically, according to ESPN.com, we have a 19% chance of winning the game. It's almost like the bets are high for us with that. I have faith in Coach Frank. I have faith in the team. The players play for the university. In this situation, you got a team that wants to play for the university and the coach. I watched this play out in 2016 with Coach Ed Ogeron. I watched him take his 2017 season, start to try to figure it out. 18, bring in Joe Burrow. The rest is history all the way up until about 20. You know, rest in peace, Mike Leach. That was the start of us starting off bad. Then it was the UCLA win. And then eventually that season they wanted to get him out.
Can they use dual quarterbacks this Saturday? How do you feel about that, Faye?
I'll go back to what Coach Frank mentioned. Coach Frank basically said he has a plan for Van Buren.
See? A plan. He has
a plan for it. I mean, because let's be honest, Frank coaches on the offensive side of the ball. So he's in the offensive meetings. He has a say-so in how a portion of everything was ran, but it had to been ran through two other guys, Cartaz Hankton. Also, because he's the assistant head coach and Frank, you had Carday Hankton as the running backs coach. So you have him as the main running backs coach. Frank basically has his nose over there as well, assistant head coach, helping the coordination of the team, but having to feed off of what Joe Salone was saying. Like Joe Salone was the main coordinator. They said they were co-coordinators, him and Cortez Hankton.
Sound like a lot of Indians.
But not enough. So now you have an OC, you have your head coach. Now each position it changes now. Because here's the thing that's in Coach Salone's defense. When you're the lead OC, a lot's riding on you. That happens in Coach. Like, did Gary Nussmeier have about maybe 19 to 22% of why Coach Kelly got fired? Probably.
Absolutely.
You know,
it usually works like that.
You know, 5 interceptions, a lot of them were forced. You look at the South Carolina game, Florida game, very forced. Costly, this last game. You know, so eventually, yeah, we could kind of view it from that vantage point.
You don't run the football.
And then, and that's why, and the thing too, and we'll get into like the difference in the coaching. In addition to that, y'all, you have a situation where this guy's making these calls. These plays are looking vanilla. It's almost like I kind of feel Kellen Moore for the Saints. Like I got to use Taysom wisely because people used to seeing him a certain way. Right. So if you put him in at quarterback, we didn't see him the first 2 drives, load the box. So in my mind, okay, if I'm going to bring him in there, give him that scenario, but throw a deep ball. It's just you got to be creative, and I think now, CL, we're going to get that.
Definitely, because to a man, I think we all know that Frank Wilson has been waiting for this opportunity his whole life. Now, did he guess that he would come up on Alabama his first go round? No. But I think he feels that there's no other better opportunity to show how he can galvanize this team, how he can galvanize Louisiana, how he can galvanize the city of Baton Rouge on Saturday night.
Yeah, hey, let me tell you something. If Coach Frank go out there, brother, and he get a big win, that'll definitely it'll set the precedent of what works in this program,
Culture.
right? Culture. I do think it's culture first. One thing that I want to segue to this, y'all. Look, and if y'all just tuning in, we're going to probably run this segment here like another 10 minutes because now we got to really talk about this search for the next coach. Or do we even have to search? So we'll start there. And y'all feel free to chime in, give me y'all opinion. If Coach Frank Wilson, there's 4 games left. If he goes 3-1, he should be considered for the job. He goes 4-0, he for certainly should be considered for the job.
He probably keeps the job.
He goes 5, yeah, because if it ain't broke, don't fix it. He probably, if he goes 500, then it's, in that case, if that happens, the next question, and y'all feel free to hit the ESPN Baton Rouge's live comment below. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Feel free to hit up my man CL, hit up Chris, because we're gonna, comment on our takes. Right now, the number one name that's floating around right now is Lane Kiffin. Right? Obviously, he's at another SEC West team. His personality would fit the culture, right? He's kind of laid back coach, cracks jokes, interacts. He's not as stiff and brain as Coach Callan. Ain't guy. Listen to me. I'm gonna get mad.
Did you say stiff or stick?
I said stiff.
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah, he's not stiff like
Stick.
Yeah.
Or strict.
but no, to y'all's point, his personality. Now, of course, every name off of the Nick Saban's coaching tree is going to pop up.
Right.
Lane Kiffin just happened to be one of them. Another name that I actually like is Dan Lanning. I'll start there with y'all. I mean, because we know about the Kiffin deal. CL, do you like Dan Lanning? If so, why? If not, why? And give me an explanation.
I don't like Dan Lanning. And the why is I'm still running with the culture situation. I'm still running with the guy that's most familiar with every player that's on this team, every player in South, East, and West Louisiana, the state of Louisiana, to be honest with you. I'm going with the guy that they're most familiar with. I'm going with the guy that has already sat inside of their mother's and father's home and talked about recruiting them to the great state of Louisiana.
Dan Lanning, you like it? You don't like it? Pass on it. Keep the option. What's good?
I think he's for sure a good coach in college football. But question is he a good coach for LSU? Is he a good coach for the SEC? Is he built for this? Because clearly we've seen Brian Kelly wasn't built for that. There's a difference between being a coach in the Big Ten at Oregon and being a coach in the SEC at LSU. So, I don't know. I mean, I say, why not, roll in the gumbo and the red beans and have Frank Wilson, try him out for, the first Final 4 games, see how it goes.
Honestly, Frank is my first choice.
Oh, yeah.
Right? He's a guy that understands. If you're looking for, man, when we really hit big with Ed Ogeron, if you're looking to hit big like Ed Ogeron, I think Frank is
Wilson.
that guy.
Yeah.
Frank
Purple
was
Knight.
on when he's a Purple Knight. That's right. He's a St. Aug grad, West Bank guy. Got his first opportunity to coach at Carr Middle School, coach at O'Perry Walker. He understands Louisiana through and through. That people will question, he was only a head coach for University of Texas San Antonio and McNeese. If you question that, he's now a head coach at LSU. Like that's almost like if you ain't a high boy, then what do you call that? You feel what I'm saying? So the only challenge that people would have, we would have, even liking the option, like I said, this is personal, right? I think it is a little biased, but at the same token, he has to win out. That's the Ed thing. And what I mean by win out 3-1, 4-0, to be considered. Now, some
Can I say
names
this?
that's oh yeah, go ahead.
So, I don't even think the record. How does the Tigers play? We've had 7 games to see the Tigers play under Coach Kelly just this year, right?
I see what you're saying.
How do the Tigers play? How do they respond getting down? How do they run the football? Think about it. If they run the football if they lose to Alabama by 2 points,
Right.
and the numbers look good, and they did one for the Gipper, do we still look at it as a loss? Because, and don't get me wrong, there's
I
no
see what
more
you're
of
saying.
it.
You're
Yeah.
saying one. Well, it'll be two. You
The
saying if they
records.
win Alabama game?
I'm saying the record would not indicate me keeping him or me getting rid of him. I'm looking at how the players play, how the players respond to him, how the players respond to the adversity that they know they will face in Bryant-Denny Stadium. That is what I'm judging Coach Frank Wilson on, not the record. But obviously, if he wins out, you can't argue with it.
You can't argue with it. And honestly, I wish we could judge him by the players.
Right.
See, we were able to judge Ed by the players and the wins. 2016, I'm not even talking about like he went out there and beat the brakes off of Lamar Jackson and them. I'm talking
Right,
about
sure
that Ed. So you know that kind of fueled the reason to keep him and keep rolling with it. So like I said, we definitely team Frank over here at Inside the Trenches,
Definitely.
but it has we got to realize that's it. Coach Verge Alsbury is extremely familiar with Frank Wilson.
Oh, sure.
More than likely rooting for him. Like I said, that's what I want to talk about too. His presser. Verge said we're not broken over here at LSU. He felt as if he'll take our front office, our athletic department, and go against anybody across the country. He said that with confidence because he knows what this crew is capable of. What happened is 1 bad mistake. 2, I think the first big mistake by Scott Woodard was not keeping Ed Ogeron a little longer. This man just had the greatest college football team 2 years prior than you failed. You're letting them out of there. Secondly, bringing in a guy like Coach Kelly, and that's why I'm going to rattle off the rest of these names, and I'm going to talk about the ones that make the most sense. Chris, you jumped the ball on Coach Kelly. You're bringing from a statistical standpoint, from a logical standpoint, it was a great idea. Coach Saban had retired. He was the most winningest coach in college football.
Right.
But to CL's point, Chris, you have to do it for the culture. Yeah. So that's why this next hire is going to have to be one for the culture. Here's another thing, and this is why I'll segue to you. Fellas, we probably need about 5 more minutes because we're going to rattle through these names too. So, try to make this quick if you can, Chris. The next thing that we have to pay attention to and really look at with this hire is the price tag. Exactly. We don't know how this thing going to play out with Coach Kelly. Now, we've heard a few things, and before I come to you, I want y'all to kind of understand what we've heard. We've heard this from some legal experts. There's a few ways LSU can handle this. And this isn't me. This isn't my opinion. This is me paraphrasing from talking to some guys in the legal world. Number 1, a due diligence clause. The due diligence clause, meaning go out and get another job, have somebody else pick up the majority of the tab. That reduces the cost. 2, there is a moral clause. We don't know the full extent, so all of this is alleged. It's alleged that it may have been some moral compasses being touched or moved around. If that's the case, that helps for LSU. Another approach that LSU can take as well, guys, you can pay Coach Kelly. This is going to sound crazy, but, it is a $54 million buyout, so that's why it sounds just crazy. From this month moving on forward, you could pay him $800-some-odd-K a month till 2031. So that's how this – so, CL, I'm assuming the first option is better, but Chris, I'm going to come to you first. When looking for the next coach and figuring out the culture, your thoughts, now are you leaning more towards a Lane Kiffin or are you leaning more towards – I'm going to just use, because he's there, Frank Wilson? Based off of the numbers I just ran by you.
I think I'll lean more towards a Frank Wilson.
Yeah.
I mean, you just have to at that point because I feel like we know what Lane Kiffin is capable of. He has a proven track record
Right.
in college football. Frank Wilson, I'm not gonna say he hasn't proven anything, but he's still trying to get his chips up.
Right.
He's still trying to prove himself here. So that's why I would say stick with Frank Wilson for now.
I like that. And look, I'm going to just run off a couple of other options that we're hearing. Names that are just popping up. Marcus Freeman is popping up. Notre Dame's coach. I mean, we will go back to Notre Dame again and take a risk with that. Only thing about him, and this is the trend, and I want y'all to understand this. Most of these coaches are going to want 10-year deals.
Yeah.
The day of the 5-year deal, the 4 improve, that is gone. Because at some point, either the coach is going to want to part different ways or the university is, and then there'll still be some type of buyout on the back end, right? I don't know why. Now, I've also heard about Eli Drinkwitz, head coach at Missouri. Another idea that he's a coach that's winning and hope he fits with the culture. Now, that's why, and CL, I'll get your comment on this. We all should have about a good 30 seconds to a minute to comment a piece. That's why I said, if you can't get a Dan Lanning, and the reason I like Dan Lanning because he's from the Nick Saban coaching tree, I do think he can adapt to the SEC because he's coming from Alabama.
That's true.
So the recruiting, he understands the culture. You got to realize the amount of Louisiana guys they was getting in that time frame. So I don't think that'll be a Brian Kelly reach. We know he wins. I have 2 issues with that. One issue is, boy, it's going to be hard to get him to come from by Phil Knight. We ain't going to be able to match. You can sell him on the SEC. So that option, and you see CL putting the Johnny Manziel, he put the Johnnies up. So that lets you know. That's why this may be a beautiful storm for Frank Wilson. And John Summerall.
I was just about to ask you, what y'all think about John Summerall? I was literally just about to ask y'all
this
that.
is perfect way to segue to you. We'll come to you first. These are the 2 best options.
I agree.
Because of the situation we're in. Because Frank, he a real one. He'll be like, look, I know what the play is. Give me 3 or 4 to prove it. I understand it's a big buyout. I'll take $5-6 million a year. And now you save on Frank. Coach Summerall. And I heard Gillen from off of Fox. He was talking about this the other day on his page. He was like, they don't think Tulane is doing I don't want to use the word good enough, but making the proper push at keeping Summerall around. Like, I didn't hear about no. I would be giving him a pay raise yesterday.
You know why? Because they know what we all know secretly and unwritten rule. I'm sorry, I won't speak for you, gentlemen. I think that the brass at LSU are a little bit too high on the horse to actually get a coach from Tulane to be the next head coach at LSU. So that's the reason why I didn't get into the Summerall situation. I tell you it is, because I was supposed to be short. The definition of insanity is doing the same exact thing and expecting a different outcome. Frank Wilson is the answer.
Oh, I like that one. Now, he got straight to the point. In the search for the coach, your thoughts. What's the direction?
I mean, for culture purposes and for money purposes, I think you should keep Frank Wilson. But if it's not Frank Wilson, I think it should be John Summerall because he is familiar with the area. He's coached down here, he knows the state well. He knows the city well already. He's not too far from BR, Baton Rouge. So if it's not Frank Wilson, I would say John Summerall, but I will go with Frank Wilson for now.
Well, listen, y'all. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Obviously, right now, we got our guy in the building, and that is Frank Wilson. We wish Frank, the best. We hope that he does an excellent job.
He went
Because
Saturday.
he's somebody
we not
for-
having this conversation.
Yes,
Oh,
indeed.
no way.
He has done an exceptional job. Like CL said, he goes out there and wins Saturday and does a good job against Western Kentucky. We got to go against a mobile quarterback in Arkansas. Oklahoma, we got to go out there and take them on. And if Coach Frank can go through that gauntlet successful, I do think he should be considered the man for the job. Once again, y'all, we want to thank Health Nut System, Dr. Kendra Andrew, for all that she does for the show. Remember, y'all visit stillbody.org. Order y'all nutritional supplements today. She got that Georgia peach sea moss. She said she just sold out. She said, Fave, I'm going to get you another bottle next week. I said, thank you, Doc. I'm looking forward to it. Hey, y'all stick around. We'll be joined by my main man, Michael Banks, Archbishop Shaw defensive tackle. He's going to join us next segment. Talk about that these guys won a state championship last year. Mike has been doing an exceptional job at school. And, hey, man, this is his senior year on senior week. We'll be joined by Michael Banks, Archbishop Shaw defensive tackle, right here on Inside the Trenches. Y'all know where. Hello.
Inside the Trenches.
Dentro de las trincheras.
Inside the trenches.
Conquer Sports Professionals.
Hey, you, what's up? My name is Marlon Big Favorite, Super Bowl champion and national champion. And here are the top 5 ways to stand out for college recruits. Number 1, explosive first 15 seconds on your highlight film. Listen, attention spans are short nowadays. You got to be able to catch their attention right away. So that big hit, make sure it's at the top of that tape. Number 2, consistent game stats. Each week, have your stats updated. If you had 4 tackles for loss and a sack, you need to make sure that's upgraded on your social media. Number 3, strong GPA plus test scores equals college scholarships. Gives you more opportunities. If you have the high grades and if they could get you some extra funds because of your test scores, that is huge. Number 4, positive attitudes coaches can trust. If you have a positive attitude and you look like you could be a nice locker room guy and build a team up, coaches love that. Number 5, hustle on and off the field. So just as well as you're out there making tackles or touchdown catches, you need to be active in your community. A lot of you guys want NIL brands. You need to be able to establish yourself out publicly. And that's definitely key, baby. So look, if you're serious about being recruited, go to csportspros.com if you want help getting a football scholarship. Hello.
Conquer Sports Professionals.
Inside. Inside the trenches.
Dentro de las trincheras.
Inside the trenches.
What's happening, beautiful people? What's happening? Welcome back to Inside the Trenches. It's your host, Marlon, Big Favorite, and I hope y'all are enjoying the show because we're definitely enjoying it. If you missed some of the segments, y'all can definitely visit ESPN Baton Rouge's live a bit later on to catch some of those segments. Feel free to go back and watch. We appreciate y'all for tuning in each week. We also want to take this time to thank Conquer Sports. Conquer Sports Pros, baby. Visit csportspros.com. If you're a junior or a senior who's looking to get recruited, go to get your school paid for and play college football on the next level, visit csportspros.com. You go to their website, sign up for a free consultation, and find out what's the best move for you. Visit csportspros.com. Well, speaking of Conquer Sports Pros, we've had a young man a part of that program since he was in the 7th grade, and now he's a senior at Archbishop Shaw High School. We want to give a big, warm welcome here on Inside the Trenches and welcome defensive tackle Michael Banks. Big Mike. Mike in the building. So, Mike, senior year is here, brother. So much to kind of look back on. I've been checking your Instagram. I've been reminiscing, putting a little Drake up on there, showing some fire pictures. I'm like, look at Mike, got his swag on. You heard it? But what are some of your, we just talked about this off air, your senior year kind of flew by. What are some of your favorite memories from this year?
I'd definitely say coming out of the tunnel for the first time to open the season. It was just like, man, I can only do this so many more times with these guys right here and just lined up next to me. Carrying that flag out 2 weeks ago felt pretty cool too. Just, the senior privileges that you get that really aren't spoken about, that are really just great. Being a captain of the game, that was a pretty good experience too, especially that last week's game versus Bell Chase.
You was the captain. You did it, 2 or 3 times this year?
Twice, Rummel and Bell Chase, yes, sir. That Rummel game too, yeah.
Okay. Brother, I can't help but bring you back. Tell us about that championship you won last year.
It was good. Being on that field, being in the locker room, being able to just, take the buses to the dome to go out there and play with my teammates felt really well, really good. It felt like just a family experience. I don't know. It was good, just being on the field. That game, I was coming off an injury, so I wasn't allowed to play until the second half. And I remember going in at halftime, and Coach Lacey's like, "Are you ready to play?" I was like, "Absolutely." Came out and made the plays back to back. Wow. So, just having that moment right there, too, really just made it even better.
I want to kind of get back into that state championship season. I like the formula that Coach Hank plays with. I mean, he's always itching to play as many Catholic League teams as he can. But just like this season, last season, y'all started off with St. Aug. You still had Jakeem Stewart there for y'all jamboree. He wrecked shop. And then y'all took on that in the car at some point of the season. I want to say that last year y'all beat Rummel. So when you think back of that season, like, what are some of, you think, the key elements to winning the state championship was? What was some of the, I mean, obviously y'all had probably one of the better run attacks, right? But just kind of talk about some of the key elements off of that team.
I'd say it started off in the spring, working hard, iron sharpens iron, going against great guys like DJ Miller, Carter Newsom on the O-line, guys in the backfield like Mason Wilson, Jasper Parker, Jacob Washington. Going against those guys in the spring really helped our defense come together and play hard. And, like you said, that hard schedule really just helped us get prepared to go face adversity. You know, you're going to play these strong teams in these non-district games to go play teams that aren't as good or, you know, are working to be that good. So, you know, that really prepared us for that.
Well, we know Shaw has always had great players to come and go through the ranks. I was Sean Michael Dumas, you know, of course, I'm not Shaw. Well, a big fade, you know. There's so many guys that have came through Shaw, Jasper Parker. Now that you're on your senior year and you're leaving a legacy, what would you like your legacy to be left at Shaw?
I'd say I would like to be my legacy to be as I kept my head up and I had a good motivation to everybody. You know, I led the right ways. You know, walking in my school shoes, probably having my shirt tucked in. You know, I'm the prefect for House of Sales too, so you know, just leaving a good example like that. You know, doing things the right way. You know, Coach Gig always says you can either be on one side of the line or the other. You know, you can either walk that line on a good way, like a lot, or you can go back and forth. And he was like, but you want to stay on that left side. He was like, you don't want to go right.
That's huge. If y'all just tuning in to Inside the Trenches, we're joined by defensive tackle Michael Banks out of Archbishop Shaw, West Banker. Y'all make sure y'all check Mike out. M Banks, I said that right, M Banks on Instagram. Cool. Look, he keep you entertained. You're gonna know what's going on with the school. You know, put some pretty cool pictures up, and you know he really enjoys playing the sport that he loves. I brought up the JPRD. Obviously, you've been doing this for a while, baseball and football. I guess kind of talk about when you first started playing football in the parks, and you know to where you are now. Like you know all of that you have learned, and just the transition.
I started in second grade. I didn't actually play park ball, though. I played travel football for New Orleans Panthers.
Oh,
Dad told me if he wanted me to play, he wanted me to learn from the right people, you know, guys under like Coach Robbie Green, you know, junior and senior, you know, all that. You know, there's great people over there. You know, he wanted me to learn from people like that had the experience. I mean, growing up, let's see, I played when I was 9, 10, and 11. I stopped when I was 12. So that's when I started playing like park ball, basketball, school ball and stuff like that, just real crowded schedule. And that's when I started coming to you in 7th grade. My dad told me he wanted me to be prepared for, you know, high school and go out there and make a name for myself. So I started coming to you summer of 7th grade year, going into 8th grade. That's when I was at Brother Martin, actually. Getting ready to go over there.
I forget about that Brother Martin run.
Yeah, just from there, I mean, I started off on the O-line first 2 weeks, actually, over there. And then I made that transformation over to D-line, and, you know, just upwards from there. You know, going to you on Tuesdays and Thursdays and Saturdays, getting those film sessions in with you during the season. Just went up from there.
True student of the game, CL.
For sure. Well, knowing that you are a true student of the game, that means you don't really leave any rock unturned. So we're just going to fast forward to the future. Are there some universities that you're interested in or interested in you playing for them next fall?
There are some, but if an opportunity is presented to me, I'll take that opportunity. You know, if somebody comes to pick me up today, I'll take that into consideration. But because you know, still a long time before that.
Yes,
so whatever opportunities God puts in a deck of cards for me, you know, I'll go through that, see what my best way is. You know, I want to be a physical therapist. So you know, I know there's life outside of football. There's like just beyond that. So I want to, you know, make sure, okay, I can go here and still have my major, or somewhere might not have the major I want and it might not be as good. So, you know, I want to make sure I'm making the right decisions for me football-wise and, you know, set myself up for a good life.
Well, to kind of piggyback off of what y'all are talking about in regards to those opportunities, it's changed so much, CL, for them. Like, basically, if you're not a 4 or 5 star, you may not have a Power 4 school kicking down your door. So, Mike, I guess my question for you, excuse me, you've told me numerous of times before that you would be interested if the right school came knocking, whether it's D2, whether it's D3, or whatever the case may be. But just in regards to this new recruiting surface, it is a whole new surface. What are some questions you may have? You know, what are some questions you may have in regards to, like, man, what's the next step to take? Or when I get there, what to expect? Like, because it is a lot more than y'all have to figure out than we did.
I'd say you definitely made the process a lot easier. putting my faith and trust in you. You led me the right way. I got that offer from Ave Maria over in Florida, and I know there's going to be more to come. And I'll just, I'll send you those clips after the game and let you handle the rest, and we promote ourselves the best way.
Right. Yeah. And that's what I do love, Chris, that we over at Conquer Sports Pros, guys like Mike can look at his profile and kind of look at some of the teams that's looking at him. And, we've been doing this with him for a while. Since his freshman year, he's been getting it out there. But it just goes to show you, like, he just missed the transition. Like, when he was in the 7th and 8th grade, he was training with, like, Carnell Harris and think back to, like, when Cade was Trey Hand. Those dudes were a part of the old recruiting process. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy, man.
Well, I'm not sure how the recruiting process works now, but I know Florida A&M has a great physical therapy program. Just to put that little feather in your cap, brother.
Nah, see, I like where you're going. To me, with this new surface, y'all, and I'm glad for all of college coaches that's watching, you do have a gym right here as the kids gonna come and play with good technique and ready to roll. But I think that the jewel in the Nile is those HBCU Division I AA schools. Because look,
trying to tell you,
if we just open our eyes right here, we see Southern, we see Grambling. But if you look at a wide lens, and obviously, Mike, I've been dealing with this stuff with y'all with the recruiting. I mean, the East Coast is loaded with really good Howard, and you even got in Florida Bethune-Cookman. It's just so
Florida
many
A&M.
different Florida A&M, Alabama A&M. I really think.
A&T.
And here's the truth. I really wanted. Wait, that's drumline. That's not a real. He almost got me. But this my whole thing, y'all. That was a good one. I'm like, hold on. That was a Nick Cannon. All right, so Prairie View. I mean, Prairie View, and there's another one in that area, in the Houston area.
Yeah, it's that
Houston,
MEAC school. What's the MEAC school?
It's a few of them. I just don't, and I don't have the profile here in front of me, but this is the new thing, and I really wanted to save this.
Norfolk, go play by Coach Vic.
But yeah, Michael Vick, Norfolk out in Virginia.
Delaware State, go play with
Jackson.
Jackson.
But the point I'm making, y'all, the new surface, this new recruiting is so different. So here's what I mean by that. Your typical Division III, Division II school, Division II schools in particular, like let's just take somebody, y'all brought up Trey, let's take Arkansas Monticello. That's the new Division I AA's.
Right.
The new Division I is Division I AA schools like Southern, Grambling, those, Bethune-Cookman, Howard. To me, those schools should be viewed and treated like how we used to look at, I'm going to say, Colorado or Colorado State back in the day. Those lower tier Power 5 schools at the time is Power 4 now, right?
Oklahoma State.
Right?
Michigan State.
100%. Now the FCF schools and the FBF schools are really pre-NFL. Because think about it. The average player, like, I was picking on Caleb Williams earlier. He went to the Chicago Bears like, it's whatever. Okay. Shadora Sanders. To me, he is the perfect example, y'all, of somebody that's like Kanye Shrug. All right, I'm not starting, it don't matter. I'm still sitting on 20 M's. You know what I'm saying?
Easily.
So, Mike, just give me your opinion on that. Do you think that works for y'all or work against y'all as young players?
I'd say it's a little bit of both. I say it works against us because it makes it harder for us to make it to that high level. Mm-hmm. But it also works for us because it gives you that motivation that, like, hey, you got to get up and go. You have to stay disciplined because you know how much harder it is to make it to that level. So you have to put that extra effort in. You can't say, I'm tired today. And you already have to have a certain level of discipline to make it to that high level that you have to take that next step. It's not 100% or 110, it's 120 now.
Yeah, it's real rap. Now, he said a mouthful just now, CL, and perspective means a lot. Because here's the thing. And my oldest son, Kentrell, he kind of was moving at this rate. His first year out of De La Salle, I'll just go ahead and be candid about it. He could have done a better job academically. So that did enable him at first. but we took the prep school option. So he went play prep school, get the reps, get the tape. That's important, young cats. That those
Tape
tapes
is important.
post high school is important, very important, and I'll get to it here in a second. Then he attempted to go to Pearl River, tried out, did that whole thing. It didn't work. So obviously we go put on the Batman suit, throw up the bat signal with Conquer Sports, start doing our searching, looking for needs, right? That's very important, y'all.
Very important.
Free game here.
Numbers game.
Northwestern, which is CL's old school, they were in dying straits of a punter. Cantrell went out there, one day punted, had to drive him back out there the next weekend, left him there.
One day.
See what I'm saying? And he, obviously he took a break last season and, he's kind of put it on the back burner a bit, but it speaks volumes to y'all's process. So the average high school kid, right? What I mean by average and above average, right? Above average is 3-star, 2-star, right? But if you're not a 4 or 5-star, you're going to have to go through the new process.
Right.
Going to a Division II school. Some people may stay there and enjoy it. Because remember, Pro Football Focus, it goes across the board. Y'all see what I'm saying? What I mean by that is
They judge all even.
the college, the NFL teams, they're looking for, football players. They're not looking for potential.
Right.
So going through the D2, really dominating the D2 level, making your way to FBS or FCF school is the new wave. Y'all got the years for it. I think it's about to be 5 years total y'all can do this dance. So, yeah, Mike, you got a lot to look forward to. Speaking of college and NFL players, man, is there any defensive tackles right now or from the past that I know we've watched film on a lot of guys, but I know also you watch a little college football on Saturday and Sunday. Anybody standing out to you?
I'd say from before, I'd still stick with Aaron Donald. He's a
bro.
beast.
It's
Aaron Donald. We have the same number and everything, I'd say definitely Aaron Donald the most for the pro level. And honestly, I'd probably say Brendan LeBlanc. He goes to East Tennessee State University. Played on a team with him at Brother Martin. And it's not just his game that I like Amato, but like his hustle and his heart. He had his mind in the right place. He did the right things at school. He went out on Friday nights and he's chasing every quarterback down.
Right.
He wasn't the biggest dude. He wasn't, he was maybe about 6
He was
foot.
at Brother Martin with you. I remember him.
He's 99 over there. Yes, sir. And I like watching him on Saturdays. I'll go hang out with his brother and watch him. And, he's out there putting on a show. He's doing his thing. He's not letting anybody stop him. You're only at ETSU. Okay, I'm gonna go out here and do my job. And he's doing it really well. I'll give him that.
Schools like that gonna be winning, CL.
Well, and that's the thing. You want to go to, because long are the days of, Alabama having 5-star sitting, 5-star players sitting on the bench. Long ago are those days. You want to go to a university. And if I could give you any advice, for all the offers you get, you treat that like that's your Alabama. Because the one thing we all know about football is communicate. 85% of communication is nonverbal. Don't go through the motions. Be happy to be there. Be happy to have that opportunity, because you never know. It could be your ETSU. That could be your opportunity. So if I could say anything to young men chasing a dream, go where they want you at. It's better to go where you're celebrated and not where you're tolerated.
Hello, somebody. That's how it goes.
Young man, know that one.
Definitely. Well, man, Mike, thank you so much for coming on the show. That's your camera over there. I want you to look into that camera and give a message. You're a senior. So there's some freshman out there as a defensive tackle, want to win a state championship like Mike and have an opportunity to play on the next level. You have a message. You got a message for him.
I'd say keep your head up, keep grinding every day. Do your due diligence. Stay disciplined. You got to be mentally tough too. Time's gonna get hard. You're gonna be at practice sweating. You're tired. You're thinking about other things, but you got to stay in that moment. And especially stay in that moment. Being a senior, time flew. Time has flown by. So I'd say enjoy every moment. Enjoy those practices. hard or easy walkthroughs or a Monday, your inside run. Enjoy every moment you have. And go with Big Fave. He's going to bring it the right way. Personal experience right there.
My God, man.
Yes, sir.
I wish that I could have this moment for life.
I should like another snap myself. Yeah,
I know that's real. Well, hey, wise words from a great young man, man. Mike, thank you so much for coming on the show, my brother. Y'all make sure y'all follow Mike at mbanks
504.
504 on Instagram. 504 boy, baby. Follow him. Check out St. Charles. Y'all take on St. Charles Catholic.
St. Charles Catholic Friday.
Y'all go there?
Nope. At home.
Senior night.
At
home.
Senior night.
Senior night at Shaw, St. Charles
No
Catholic.
tears.
Put it on y'all calendar this Friday. Y'all make y'all way to Archbishop Shaw. They got their home field. Senior night, 7 p.m. if I'm not mistaken. Y'all be there. Check out my man Mike, number 99 on that field, baby, but number one in y'all hearts. Michael Banks, Archbishop Shaw defensive tackle, man. Thank you for coming on the show,
you,
Big
brother.
Mike.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, brother.
Well, y'all stick around, y'all. We're going to look at the top 5 plays from the NFL this weekend. We're going to chime in on that, y'all, and we'll be out. Thank y'all again for tuning in this segment. Y'all stick around as we wrap up right here on Inside the Trenches, baby. And thank you once again to Conquer Sports for this segment.
Inside the trenches.
Dentro de las trincheras.
Conquer Sports Professionals.
Hello, somebody. It's Marlon Big Favorite, Super Bowl champion and national champion. Here's the truth. Almost anybody could play college football and get a scholarship or financial aid if they know who's looking for them. Now, you may not be a Division I or Division II football player, but that doesn't mean you can't play college football on the next level. There's hundreds and thousands of schools out there that's looking for football players like you to give you a great education. Right now, the average cost of school is $27,000 a year. That means that's $180,000 just to graduate. Imagine cutting that number down with a football scholarship or financial aid support. At Conquer Sports Pros, we find the right schools that fit you, your talent, your goals, and your future. And they will pay for your education through football. Don't waste time guessing. Let us connect you with coaches and programs that are already searching for players like you. If you're serious about playing football in college to pay for your education, click the link below or visit csportspros.com and schedule a call today. Hello, somebody.
Conquer Sports Professionals.
Inside the trenches.
Here is where your story continues. Stretch the limits of your imagination. Create the world as you see it. One letter, one word, one pixel at a time. Move to the rhythm of your own story. Make something more. For him and her and them, for the world. Do what you love. Tell stories like never before in state-of-the-art recording, news, and editing studios. Created just for you. Learn skills that will never expire. Document moments, seconds, frames per second. Turn them into masterpieces. Creativity is more than a lifestyle. Make it a career. Tune into the sounds around you. Those notes, you were always meant to sing them. Creative boundaries, you were always meant to break them. Become the creative professional you are destined to be at the Anchor Institution for the Creative Economy. This is a stage, a world stage. New Orleans, culture rich. Loyola, hands-on access. Make the next move. Perform and work immediately. We do things differently. Use your creativity to impact society. Expand your mind. Be with and for others. Continue your story in the College of Music and Media at Loyola University, New Orleans.
Inside the trenches.
Dentro de las trincheras.
Inside the trenches.
Well, welcome back, beautiful people. Welcome back. It's your host, Marlon, Big Favorite, and you're watching Inside the Trenches here on ESPN Baton Rouge's live YouTube channel. And remember, y'all can check us out every week, 6:30 p.m. Mondays, every Monday right here live at Loyola Studios. I want to take this time to thank our crew up in there, baby. We got everybody. Shouts out to our Loyola students. I know we got Damian and we got Taylor on the boards, but yep, off them Tobi, Taylor. We mentioned Taylor game, Tobi, everybody in there. Graham, the whole crew. Thank y'all so much. UP. If I forgot y'all name, Marlon's in there helping out today.
Yeah, scream y'all name out from the other room.
Yep. We got a house full in there.
Yeah,
and Jordan, 2-3 in the building. That's right, Jordan was in there. I just finished talking to him. I told you, I love it when we got the packed nights over here. Like so many students walking the hallways.
Much appreciated.
But listen, the students over there at Loyola, they do an excellent job here on the show, and we are greatly appreciated for them here. Big ups once again to Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. Get Gordon, get it done. Remember, you guys, if y'all have any personal injuries from a car accident, somebody hit you're in a hit and run, whatever the case may be, hit up the McKernan Law Firm. You could call them here, 504-800-8888. Get Gordon, get it done. Now, fellas, this weekend in the NFL was a bit unorthodox. You had some wins that was kind of like, man, what the hell's going on? And I gotta start with the Chicago in the Cincinnati game. CL, bruh. When I say Caleb Williams has almost had an entire 180 since he's came into the league, when you look at this loss by the Bengals, I mean, you got no Joe Burrow. Defensively, they just really struggling. But, man, Colston Loveland, last 17 seconds, catch a 58-yard touchdown pass. Man, is Caleb Williams really out here torching them, bro?
I think coaching matters. I think
for sure.
I think Ben Johnson has come in with a plan of attack, and he's playing to the strengths of his team.
Sure.
They run when they need to. They're explosive with the wide receivers, with a Duze, as well as number two, DJ Moore. So they're explosive on the outskirts. Now we know their defense is neither here nor there, but so is the Cincinnati Bengals. But the one thing that goes off in my mind, and I'd hate to get off the subject, but tell us what's the difference between Joe Flacco and Joe Burrow?
That's a good point. I was actually watching LaShawn McCoy talk about this. I forget what podcast he was on. He made a very compelling point, and it really goes all the way back to 2018 at LSU. What he was alluding to, and it makes a lot of sense, he's basically saying that you had all of these superstar wide receivers around you. Even when you got to the NFL, eventually Jamar Chase, he had T. Higgins.
Yeah.
So
Had Joe Nixon at some point.
him getting hurt, that's right. Him getting hurt really made the point that anybody could insert with those key receivers. Now, I'm not saying that, I say that with a grain of salt because I saw the magic. He still had to make I watched the Texas A&M game, his first year at LSU, and the way he fought to the end. You know, Joe Burrow is a top-tier quarterback.
For sure.
But it does help when you have
Jamar
good
Chase and T.
receivers.
Higgins.
So it was like I said, Joe Flacco was just out there having the field. They just throwing it to Jamar Chase. But I think chemistry matters too, CL. If I had I not covered LSU so closely in the last few years, I probably would say the same thing.
Yeah.
Like,
And it's no knock on Joe Burrow, that is, but $275 million to be hurt every year, and you see a guy like a 40-year-old Joe Flacco come in and still throw for over 300 yards against the Chicago
Almost
Bears.
500.
Almost 500
With
yards.
4 touchdowns.
yeah, it does kind
In
of.
this offense with no Joe Nixon.
Joe Mixon.
Joe
yeah.
Mixon, no Joe Mixon. In this offense, he still throws for over 400 yards, and it just makes me wonder, did the Cincinnati Bengals pay too heavy of a price for an injured Joe Burrow?
I mean, your point on that, Chris. I mean, it may be too early to start for Cincinnati. I do think they need to draft a quarterback at some point, just because you're going to get Joe Burrow healthy. Next year, if something happens, you want to make sure you have a liable source that can go in there. And you do look at, like I said, Joe Burrow ain't going nowhere.
Mm-mm.
You know,
Contractually to 29.
yes, he ain't going nowhere. But a Joe Flacco isn't bad, but look at your season. I do think most of their sweat equity, any extra cash that they could come across, for certainly needs to go towards their
On the
defense.
defense.
Yeah, because
For sure.
that's where the struggle's at, right?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
They just need to find a way to rebuild that defense. Well, they are in a rebuilding phase right now, honestly. So I would just say use some draft capital that you got to build a good secondary, a good front seven, like the Saints did, you know, in that little period from 2014, 2016. Use that to draft good in 2017. Use some of that voodoo magic to make your defense become better and help Joe Burrow.
Hey, that makes a good point.
I don't know what kind of voodoo you need when your quarterback getting 275. You got a two top five wide receivers in payment.
Guys, we're going to keep going on. I want to touch base on a couple more subjects with y'all before we out here. Now, we talk about how crazy the Chicago game was, but you got Denver. You got the Denver Broncos, baby, versus Houston. That was a nail-biting game. Gift that keeps on giving. Saints Denver Broncos went on, got the former Saints kicker, Will Lutz, and Will Lutz saves the day.
Better than Blake Goopy.
Hey, that's a good point there. Saves the day, 18-15 win against a Houston team that looked like they was trying to bounce back. Seattle don't believe it. See, I'm going to come to you first, dog. We talked about this Denver team earlier. What you think about that matchup against Houston?
I believe that they believe. I believe that they believe. I believe the Denver Broncos believe in what Coach Payton is selling, and that's to stay in the game till the end and pull it off at the end. And that's what happened, minus a Patrick Surtain the second, which he didn't play. So imagine that. They did it without Lil Pat. So the Broncos are a for real team, and they're must-see TV because they never give up.
Yeah, I mean, I got to second that, brother. They got coaching. You know, we know that
coaching makes a difference.
Eventually, to y'all's point, I mean, it was going to happen. Coach Sean Payton was going to pull that team together, and that he did.
Fairly quickly.
Oh, yeah.
Very quickly.
Kind of like he did in New Orleans, huh?
Yep.
Yeah. I don't want to spend a lot of time on this next subject, y'all, but, you know, definitely prayers go up to Jaden Daniels, a horrific injury. You hate to see a player get hurt like that. I didn't like a lot of the memes was going on. It kind of went down the line of all the Washington quarterbacks who got hurt over the year. You saw that. So Jaden, you know, you go back and you look at that class with him and Drake May and Caleb Williams. Definitely a
down 31. Coach.
Yeah, I know, man. It was.
Oh, I'm sorry, down 30.
And that's why Coach Quinn came out and he was like, "That's my fault. He should have been out of the game." You know, it was 28-7. No need to keep him in there. He was just bouncing back. But yeah, that was heartbreaking.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate. I didn't think he was going through a second-year slump. I just think that the injuries caught up with him. The NFL catches up with you as well.
Yeah.
They still had the potential to win their division. Obviously, Dallas being down to the Cardinals right now. But the most important and the best play I saw this Sunday was when the Atlanta Falcons came back against the New England Patriots.
Yeah.
Drake London catches 3 touchdowns, and the final touchdown to tie the game, and their kicker Jay Romo misses the PAT. Atlanta loses 23-24.
Yeah.
That was lovely.
Atlanta,
For sure.
and like I said, we see
Thanks,
them.
Atlanta. I was doing bad Sunday, but you just made it so much better.
We see Atlanta in a few weeks. That will be that will be an interesting matchup.
Wise up.
I'm interested in seeing how the Saints are going to be looking. I want to talk about the Vikings and the Lions game. The Vikings won 27-24. I mean, you look back at this 4-4 team. J.J. McCarthy, he did throw an interception, but he was 14 for 25. You got something out of Aaron Jones. He had 78 yards on the ground. I thought that was
helped.
decent. You had your 2 attacks, right? Jets had a crazy catch, one-hand catch touchdown.
Yeah.
But, they showed up. They were somewhat balanced. The surprising piece, CL, came in with the Lions. We used to seeing, obviously, Gibbs didn't have his best game, right?
As he shouldn't.
That's where it all happened, right?
player
The
on the
rushing
team.
game wasn't there.
Right.
He didn't have it,
You got to take something away.
Right.
I allow what the Saints didn't do on Sunday. They didn't take anything away.
Right. I don't know, bro. I still think Detroit is one of them teams that we still got to watch out. I think they got, I may be a little biased because of Kelvin Shepard, but I just think that they got the complete package on their team.
And I think so as well. The game on Sunday, first of all, the Detroit Lions and the Minnesota Vikings are division rivals. So you throw the records out of the door, number one. The matchup between Robinson and Jets was wonderful. You don't get to see too many primetime reps like that. I just think the Aaron Jones situation is still just understated. To have a running back that's going to give you 70 some odd yards rushing on the ground, it helps out your second year quarterback, because I've gone on record to say that I don't believe in J.J. McCarthy, but I do believe in Addison, and I do believe in Jets, and I do believe in Jones. So what is around him is so much better than
O'Connell.
And oh my God, and one of the greatest coordinators in football right now. So I think it's a plug and play situation for Minnesota, but at the same time, Detroit still has those coaching ills that we spoke about a couple of weeks ago that hasn't really matriculated into wins as of yet.
Yeah, totally get that concept too. Chris, when you look at this Detroit team, in the last few years, they were able to go to the playoffs, get there. Dan Campbell might have pushed it a little too much with the 4th down calls. Do you still look at this Detroit team as a team as we're in November now, December? Do you see them rattling off some wins here and being one of those top tier NFC teams?
They do have a favorable schedule moving forward. I think they're in a tough division right now. They definitely is in a tough division. So it's gonna be hard, to try to even win that division. And then let's see if they are a wild card team. It's gonna be even a bigger test, a bigger road to go ahead. So I think it's gonna be the most challenging season yet for them, for sure.
Yeah, it will be.
As of years past.
Well, we got so many games to get into, y'all. I just really feel like, when you look across the scope, you got the NFC South, you got Tampa, you got Carolina head of the division, and that's a big flip, right? Where Tampa been doing their thing. And, you know, you just kind of look across the AFC surface, and some of those teams we're used to seeing surface up. So it'll be, you know, fun to follow up on the rest of these NFL games. And those are some games you wanted to touch bases on, y'all.
Right.
Well, look, y'all, thank y'all so much, as y'all do every Monday, for tuning in. We appreciate that from the bottom of our hearts.
Thank you,
Want
Atlanta.
to take this time to thank Atlanta Falcons as well for losing. But we want to take this time to thank our sponsors. Get Gordon and Get It Done. Definitely the Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. If y'all had any car accidents and you need a injury attorney that's going to get it done, hit up the G Team, baby. 504-800-8888. Conquer Sports Pros, baby. If you're a junior or a senior high school football player and you want to play football on the next level, have it paid for, visit csportspros.com for more information. Sign up for your consultation today. And yes, baby, get my CMOS, that Georgia Peach CMOS soon from Dr. Kendra. That's right. Health Nut Systems. Visit stillbody.org. Order your products today. We want to thank Dr. Kendra so much for contributing to the show.
Amen.
Well, that does it again, man, for my co-host CL NOLA, Lil Chris, for Taylor Gang, for Jordan, for Damian, for Marlon, for Tobi, for CL, UP, the whole crew. I hope I missed the Damian. You know, appreciate the whole Loyola crew over here for all that y'all do. And thank y'all for tuning in as well. We'll see y'all next Monday, 6:30 p.m. right here at Loyola on ESPN Baton Rouge. It's Inside the Trenches, baby. Peace.
Dentro de las trincheras.